We're going to turn now to something that caught our eye in the Wall Street Journal. The paper reported on a new effort by large supermarket chains to make healthy eating easier for you and more profitable for them. It's all about getting great nutritional advice, not just from your doctor, but at that moment of decision in the grocery store aisle. And our consumer correspondent, Elizabeth Leamy, is live at a Safeway in Washington with the details. Hey, Eli.
Hey, George, all sorts of stores are doing interesting things. Here at Safeway, for example, you can sign up to have your purchase history compared to national nutrition recommendations. Hy-Vee and Wegmans stores are hiring dietitians to take people on nutritional store tours. ShopRite and Giant Eagle have even experimented with giving people register coupons for healthier versions of things they just purchased. And then there is the Nuval system, which boils nutrition down to a couple of digits. It's easy for nutrition information to go right over shoppers' heads. After all, there are 50,000 mind-numbing choices in a typical supermarket. So now some stores are trying to bring nutrition down to earth.
They weren't looking for us to tell them what to eat. They were looking for information to help them make their decisions. And that's what we felt our role was here.
This Price Chopper store in Warwick, New York, puts nutrition scores right on its shelf tags. The scores range from 1 to 100, and higher is better.
This one is a 27, and I assume that means it's much better. It makes it so much easier than having to read through the ingredients labels and the nutritional information. I think that's great.
You are what you eat. And in today's world, everything is hustle and bustle and the rush and junk food, and that's why this is very important.
They're called Nuval scores, a for-profit business. Yale University researchers and other top experts developed a secret math formula that gives points for good nutrients like protein and calcium and takes points away for bad ones like trans fat and cholesterol.
Really what Nuval is intended to do is to empower people. Knowledge is power. Now you know. Some people will certainly use that to trade up to better nutrition. Some people will say, I'd rather not know. I'm going to choose what I like. I don't care whether or not it's good for me.
Not surprisingly, fruits and veggies straight from nature like blueberries, butternut squash, and spinach score 100 on the Nuval scale. Processed foods don't do as well, but there are intriguing differences among them. For example, V8 Splash Diet Berry Blend gets a 57 score, whereas Ocean Spray Light Cranberry Juice Cocktail gets just a 2. The Nuval team says that's because the V8 Splash contains less sugar and calories and more potassium and vitamins. Post Original Flavor Shredded Wheat earns a 91 Nuval score, whereas General Mills Cheerios get a 37. Nuval explains that although Cheerios are low in sugar, shredded wheat has more protein and fiber and no sodium. Ballpark's regular Franks get a 7, but Ballpark's smoked white turkey fat-free Franks score a 24 because they have more protein, less cholesterol, and no saturated fat. Sarah Lee, maker of Ballpark Franks, told GMA it strives to provide our loyal consumers with multiple product options. Ocean Spray said Nuval does not take into account product qualities beyond those listed on the label. And General Mills said criteria for Nuval are not available to the public, making any actual comparisons impossible. All the manufacturers were skeptical that the nuances of food can be boiled down to a couple of digits. But Dr. Katz of Yale argues that's exactly what doctors have done for years at their patients' annual physicals.
If expert training in medicine enables me and my colleagues to sum up the health of a person, we certainly can sum up the healthfulness of a loaf of bread.
Now, let me tell you about the Food Flex program here at Safeway. Basically, using this information stored on your club card, Safeway goes back and looks at 3 months of your purchases if you sign up and compares that to national nutrition recommendations. So I tried it, and it turns out my family could stand to eat less sodium, boo, more protein, and more fiber, George. So now we know.
Does it then give you some alternatives on what to eat, what to buy?
It sure does, yes. For example, I currently eat these turkey cold cuts, which have 420 milligrams of sodium, but I could switch to these that just have 260. My family likes this vanilla fat-free yogurt with only 7 grams of protein, but if we just switch to fat-free plain, it has 10 grams for some reason. And we love our butter lettuce, but it only has 1 gram of fiber. If we switch to romaine, we'd be getting 4 grams of fiber. So interesting recommendations.
Okay, thanks very much. You can get a lot more on all this on our website at abcnews.com/GMA. We can tell you how the Nuval scoring works.